to understand the data types that you can have in Python. And as you can see, it can be quite difficult for beginners to understand the different data structures in Python. What we can do is we can break this down. So how do you know what this is? When you see two curly brackets over here or curly braces over here, how do you know what this is? And you see this colon, and you see the square bracket, how do you know all this? So let's break it down. If we have a look, these are the main data structures in Python. So you have a list, a tuple, a set, and a dictionary. So let's see what this is by just looking at the details over here. We've got square brackets. Square brackets is a list, and this is an example. So if you have items like this in a square bracket, then this is a list separated by a comma. And you can see here, what do we have here? So we do have the square brackets over here, and we do have items separated by commas. So this you can say is a list, but this is within these two curly braces over here. So what does that mean? So if we have a look at the next one, we can see these brackets, which are parentheses, are tuples, and this is how they work. So over here, you can see if you have this round parentheses versus square parentheses, then it's a tuple. It pretty much everything else is the same, comma separated, but it's a tuple. And then you have these curly braces, and these curly braces now actually have comma separated items. So if we go back to our code over here, well, we do have the curly braces here, but we don't have comma separated items. Yes, we do have comma separated items here, but that's a data structure within a data structure. So this over here up to here is a data structure, but we do have commas here, but we also have these weird colons. So let's look at the next item. Next one says, which is if you have the curly braces with colons, then it's a dictionary. So let's try and understand that. So here we do have the curly braces. We have something over here, then a colon, then a value, then a comma, then something else over here, and a colon and a value. This is known as key. So the first part before the colon is known as key, and this is known as value. This is known as key, and this is known as values. And these key value pairs are separated by a comma. So if we go back here, and what you can see is we have the curly braces over here. We have the size. So if we go back to the example we had, so we've got something, a key. So these would be known as keys. And after the colon, we've got values. So those values don't have to be single values. So they don't have to be like, just one value. So it might make more sense to you if you just have this, something like this, then or something like this, then this looks pretty much like the structure we have here. So we've got a key and a value, But what you can do is rather than having single items, you can actually have multiple values. So you can actually have a list as its value. And that's how we recognize this data structure as a dictionary, because it matches the definition here. We've got curly braces and a colon, and we've got comma separated items over here between the key and the value pairs. So remember this in summary. So if you have square brackets, then it's the list, and it would look like this. It would be in square brackets, comma separated, tuple with round brackets and comma separated, and you've got the curly braces here that don't have a colon. So if you don't have a colon in here, then basically it's a set.